Yo, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. It's your boy Snapzilla Gorilla, aka The Definition, aka Snap Turtle, all that good shit. It is Thursday, March 13th, 2024. On my way to a doctor's appointment. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to discuss this situation we got going on with Donald Trump and the trade war, basically, that he's launching against every other country that we do business with. Because that's essentially what it is. Tanya D, what's good? Good morning. We are so screwed. Look at these billionaires. Yeah, I mean, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into how this is going to affect everybody everywhere. And, you know, you really got to look at it from a bird's eye view. You got to take a step back from it and think about what's really going on and how this really can affect us and how we can take advantage of this. Right? How we can take advantage of this. Now, as you guys know, Donald Trump has placed tariffs at 25% on all these different countries, including Canada and including Mexico. And of course they don't like it, right? They don't like that, right? They don't, you know, when they import things to us that we can use, you know, with trade or whatever, they don't want to get hit with a 25% tariff. People think of it as, you know, a tax or something like that. It's not really a tax, right? What it is when you do a tariff, when you place a tariff on imports from other countries, what you're doing is you're getting yourself a discount. That's what it is. It's not a tax, it's a discount. You're not going to pay what you usually pay or what they want you to pay. You're going to take 25% off of what you usually pay for the import. So it's not really a tax, right? And think about it like this. No one is holding a gun to these countries' heads to get into these trades with us, right? They don't have to do it. Trump is not forcing these people to import their goods. He's not. And we got to understand something, right? That the cost of goods, they're already high, right? They are already high. They're trying to convince you that these tariffs are increasing prices. But the tariffs hadn't really gone into effect yet. Now, can the looming threat of tariffs affect the market? Absolutely. Absolutely can. But we got to understand that prices are already higher than they should be. The price of eggs especially, right? You know, we talk about the price of eggs being high. Well, they were high before Trump, and then they dropped when Trump got in, but that has something to do with something else, right? The price of eggs are due to the attack on our food supply, right? Our food supply is under attack. It really is. Our food supply in the United States is under attack. We don't get, they don't import eggs from other countries, right? We don't get eggs imported from other countries. We have eggs right here in this country. We got plenty of farmers and ranchers that raise chickens that lay eggs. No, it's the attack on our food supply that is affecting the egg prices, right? One chicken gets sick, they want to cull the whole goddamn lot of chickens, right? If you guys really want to know what's going on with the price of eggs and chicken and all that shit, y'all go check out permaculture what's his name? Damn it, permaculture. Damn it, permaculture farm. It's a YouTube channel, right? He calls him the guy that runs the channel. His name is Billy, and he does regenerative farming. And you know what's going on is that there's this so-called bird flu that's going on, that they're saying is going on, and if the town or the city or the state finds out that you got a sick chicken, they want you to kill all these chickens, right? They want you to kill all the chickens, not just the unhealthy chickens, all the chickens, every single chicken, right? So that's one of the problems. It has nothing to do with tariffs, right? We produce our own oil, right? We produce and drill our own. That has nothing to. The price of gas has not skyrocketed. Look, the bottom line is this: the threat of increased prices due to tariffs are due to the countries that they don't like that Trump wants discount. That's what a tariff is. A tariff is a discount. So let's say for steel, for every ton of steel, you charge, I don't know, 3 million or whatever it is. Well, 25% of that, right, is 75 million. So instead of giving them $300 million or something like that for, instead of giving them 300 million for however much steel, you're giving them 225 million, which is already going to be at a premium, right? And that's all it is. Trump is basically taking 25% off of what he's giving these people for their product, right? And if they don't like it, all they have to do is say, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to give you the goods no more, right? You know what? You got Canada threatening to cut off power to states in this country, and I don't know why they have access to that. I don't know why they are providing power. There's a lot of problems going on, and if you look at it in the long run, if you look at the tariffs in the long run, what it's doing is it's exposing the fact that we rely too much, right? We rely too much on shit from other countries, right? Things that we have access to right here in this country, things that we have access to that we can do ourselves, right? Why are we getting the raw material for drugs, right, for medicine, from China? Why is that happening? You know, why are we doing that? Why are we getting steel from China when we can produce steel right here? Why are we getting oil and whatnot from other countries when we can produce our own oil? And this can help you as an individual, right? If you look back at it, if you take a step back, right? Like I said, if you take a bird's eye view, and this is how I felt during the Biden administration. The fact that our lives are so tied to what the government does, right? What the government does affects us so greatly in a negative way. Why? Because we rely too much on government, right? We rely too much on government to make us comfortable, right? We want Donald Trump to do the right things. We want Joe Biden to do the right things. We want the next president to come in and do the right thing. We want them to do the perfect thing for each individual, right? Every individual wants to be taken care of by Big Daddy government, by this president, by that Democrat, by this Republican. Well, guess what? No one elite representative, no one president, even 100 senators, right? 100 senators cannot represent 350 million people. They cannot represent the needs of, and they cannot represent the desires and the needs of 350 individuals. And they understand this. That's why they don't act on your behalf. So when Donald Trump initiates these tariffs, he's not doing it on your behalf. No. Right? He's not doing it for that reason. Unleavened Evan was good. Donald Trump is not doing this for y'all. What he sees it is as a business transaction. He's looking at it as a business. So he's running the country as a business. He's saying, well, we're getting screwed by the prices of these imports. And we are getting screwed, right? We are getting screwed. They charge a premium, right? So what in his mind, he's like, well, they need to sell us these goods, right? They need to import these goods, these other countries. Canada needs our imports, right? Canada needs our imports more than we need theirs. Because look at where they're at, right? They're in Canada. Canada is essentially barren, right? Right? It's, you know, we have more of what they need than they have of what we need, right? They have maple syrup. Well, we got maple syrup in Vermont. Vermont is part of the United States, right? What do we need from Canada, right? What do we need from Canada? We got a pipeline that runs from Canada from Alaska through Canada and all that other shit, right? But, you know, Canada needs our imports more than we need their imports. They need our protection more than we need them, right? No one fucks with Canada. Why? Because, first of all, Canada doesn't really have any resources that any other country needs. And even if they did, well, they have a buffer. It's us in our military. Our military is a buffer between any potential threat in Canada, right? In Mexico, what do we need from Mexico? Cheap labor. You know what I'm saying? We don't really need shit from these countries. No, not really. We don't really need anything from these other countries that we get imports from. That's why he's doing the tariffs. He's like, fuck it. We'll just do a blanket 25% tariff on all these countries. And in reality, we don't really need their shit. Now, as an individual, if you go down to the very single individual, we don't really need shit from these other countries. So we're so concerned about prices going up. The price of what? Think about it. What do you guys eat? Let's say you're a vegan, right? So you need food, right? What do you need to survive? Well, you need food and water, right? You need food, water, and oxygen. That's what you need to live. Food, water, and oxygen. Right? Let's go to that. The hierarchy of needs. Food, water, and oxygen. Well, what type of food do you eat? Let's say you're a vegan. Okay, well, what are you getting from other countries that you can't get for yourself? If you go to California, 85% of the produce, right? 85% of the produce that we consume in this country comes from California, not from any other country, right? And if you don't live in California, well, guess what? What can you grow in your region? Think about that. What can you grow, or what can you forage for in your area? Well, if you don't have much, why do you live there? I want us to start thinking about these things, right? Because at some point, at some point, we're not going to have all these things that we believe the government provides for us, right? Like the food supply, the supply chain. The supply chain is what allows us to live in areas where where there's really nothing for us to hunt or grow, right? Like if you live let's say you live in Phoenix, Arizona. If you didn't have air-conditioned buildings in Phoenix, Arizona, in a supply chain, right? Trucks, trains and all that type of shit, jets, that could bring that shit to you. Well, how would you survive in fucking Phoenix, Arizona? You would not be able to like that. No. Right? But these things that we live so comfortably with are temporary, right? They're temporary. You got to think of it as it being temporary. Because at some point, you're not going to be allowed to have these things. These things are going to go away. These things are going to go away, and then what? And I'm just talking about what we provide for ourselves in this country in terms of on a macro scale, let alone what we get from other countries, right? What do we need steel for? Tell me that, y'all. As an individual human being, why do you need steel? What are you going to use steel for? What are you going to need steel for? Let's say you are you. It's you and your family, and that's it. What uses of steel do you need? Do you have? Right? What about manure from Ukraine? Or wheat? What are we getting from these other countries that we absolutely need? You see, this is all about consumerism. Everybody's panicking, right? Because of consumerism. They want to be able to buy shit. Right? They want to be able to buy shit. They want to be able to afford all these different luxuries. Because 99% of what we buy, well, not 99%, I'm exaggerating, right? 80% of what we purchase is not a necessity, it's a luxury. Think about it. I live in South Carolina, right? There's plenty of water, right? There's plenty of groundwater in South. There's access to plenty of groundwater in South Carolina. There are plenty of deer and cows, right? There's plenty of wildlife. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really a plant eater like that, but there are peaches and shit, peaches and berries. And there's a lot of trees. And I have the knowledge to build, right? So I have the knowledge to build. I have water and wildlife right here in South Carolina. Think about it. If I wanted to, I could, right? If things weren't as they are, right? If we didn't live in a society that was so ruled by government tyrants and we had to all fend for ourselves, we could, listen, we have plenty of rural open space. We have plenty of, places where we can build a shelter, right? Where we can have access to groundwater and wildlife. Think about that. So what could Canada provide for us? Right? We could build our own shelter. We could go hunt for our food. We could forage for plants. We can go down to the river. We can tap into some groundwater. We can dig a well. We can do all that shit and live comfortably. Well, comfortably enough, right? Of course, you would need weapons and stuff to defend your land and defend yourself. But what would we need from Europe? What would we need from China? What would we need from India? Right? What would we need? We can make our own clothes. We got cotton right here in the United States. Cotton was the greatest import. That was the most sought after import a couple hundred years ago. And, you know, the whole cotton economy led to the Civil War, right? Because the southern states wanted to secede from the Union because they didn't feel like they needed them. Well, cotton is the most lucrative import in the world, and we have access to the cotton. What do we need the goddamn United States government for? You see what I'm saying? Mind the Master Musa was good, brother. Sebastian says, metals that go in your car, chemicals that are used to make computers. Yes, Sebastian, capitalism thrives off of consumerism. But see, capitalism in and of itself is not a bad thing, right? Because all capitalism does is provide what is desired. Capital is consumed resources. The U.S. is not a capitalistic. It's not. Exactly. So here's the problem, right? The problem is we feel like we need to consume shit that we don't need to consume. That's why we're in this position. That's why we're in this position under Biden, and that's why we're in this position now for different reasons. Because Donald Trump is saying, man, why are we getting all these imports? We paying out the ass for them. We can save money by hitting these motherfuckers with these tariffs that we could use to pay down debt and, you know, encourage capitalism right here in the country, right? Encourage manufacturers to build here. Encourage, you know, encourage companies, pharmaceutical companies, to get raw material for medicine right here in this country. Produce oil right here in this country. Get the steel from right here in this country. At the end of the day, though, we don't really need all that. We don't need steel. We can get iron, especially right now, right? Right now, we have everything we need to survive right here in this country. And to not even just survive, right? Not even just for the necessities. We can still have fun living off the land and, not being so concerned with all this other bullshit, right? Hunting is fun. Archery is fun. Shooting is fun. Going swimming is fun. Running around with your kids. Building shit is fun. At least for me. I like to work with my hands. I like to train. These are the fun things I enjoy. The things I enjoy to do, and I enjoy doing. I don't need a foreign country to provide the shit for it. I don't need it, right? I can, if you have a minimalist mind, right? If you think on a minimalism, because I've been trying to do that. I've been like, you know what? Do I really need all these different things? Do I really need all this crap to enjoy life? No. Anyway, y'all, I might come back with a part 2 because I want to continue cooking on this, but I got to go on this doctor's appointment. So anyway, I hit y'all later. Much love. Like, share, subscribe, and we're going to keep marching forward toward freedom. And yeah, I'm going to hit y'all up. Peace.